I was a really good kid, but I had this incredible fascination with fire, and I decided in my great, brilliant mind that I was going to build a fire. We had this really large, almost like a plate type of ashtray. Put the papers in and some little sticks and pencils, I don't know what I did, and I found some matches, and I literally built a little fire in my closet. And I'm so absorbed in it, all of a sudden I hear my parents just came in the door. What's that? That's smoke? Where's that coming from? And all of a sudden they see this plume of smoke coming down the hallway. And I came out and said, did you do this fire? Why did you do this? I don't know. There's a trend towards parents in our world today, in our country. We're lightening up for some reason on the subject of discipline. We're really good at the love, but when it comes to limits, we get a little squeamish. We don't know how, we just kind of hold back. Why is that? Why are parents today lightening up, drawing back from this whole idea of limitation, or putting limits or boundaries, if you will, on our kids? Let me suggest a couple reasons. Number one, the first reason I believe is parents have falsely concluded that love alone is the answer. Let me illustrate. In my generation, I'll be 58 in about a week and a half, so I'm getting close to 60. Those of us who are in our 50s and even more so in the 60s, the way we were raised, if you think about my home, my parents, and my generation, which side of that equation do you think was strongest, the love or the limits? Limits. In my home, when I was a child, we had no question about who was in charge. And we had no question about the authority of my parents, especially my dad. And we knew that we could not get away with foolishness. And there were different ways that my mom and my dad would enforce discipline. But with my dad, he came from such a strong John Wayne, tough guy kind of focus that all he needed to do is just look at us and we'd stop what we were doing. It was just the look. We're at church, and we're sitting on the same row as Mom, Dad, Jerry, and Judy, and John, the 6'5" McKinneys. And my brother and I start tickling each other and doing something, making a little noise. My dad literally would lean forward, and that's all it took. The rest of the service were perfect. Because this strong-handed, authoritarian approach to living and raising your family, it was just no question. You knew where you stood, and you knew the boundaries. Now, they were strong on the authoritarian limitation side, but they didn't get the love thing very well. Now, in fact, my generation, if you study history, and you'll find one of the weaknesses of our generation then was we became love-starved. And we reacted to our parents' authority. We became resentful towards this strong-handed approach. Now, my dad was good. I've shared with some stories. He was a great dad, taking me things, teaching me things, hanging out with me. But I don't remember ever as a child, my dad taking me and squeezing me in his arms and holding me tight and saying, "Son, I love you so much. I just believe in you." Never once. Because he didn't know how. That wasn't what they did in that day. That wasn't the era that he lived in. He was not trained along those lines. It would just be the tough guy and shape it up and don't talk back to me. They got that down, but a little bit small on the showing love side. So our generation entered into rebellion in the 60s. And we, the love feast and the drug abuse and the free love and weird things. We were reacting to our generation's strong-handedness because we were love-starved. Wow. And we needed something we were not getting in our homes. And in fact, one of the songs that became prevalent by the Beatles in the mid-'60s was, "All you need is love. Bum, ba-da-da. All you need is love. Bum, ba-da-da. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need." That was the heart cry of one of our leaders musically, the Beatles, saying we need to be loved for who we are. And, parents were a little bit strong. The scriptures warn about fathers being too strong-handed. Look at this in Ephesians chapter 6, verse 4. It says, "Fathers," specifically, not parents, fathers, "do not provoke your children to anger by the way you treat them. Rather, bring them up in the discipline and instruction that come from the Lord. Not put them down, bring them up. Don't cause them to become angry because of how we treat them. Colossians 3:21 is similar. It says, parents, don't come down too hard on your children or you'll crush their spirits. So we have to have a balance between the love and the discipline. We have to have both. Now that was my generation. Parents today, they're getting the love thing right. In fact, almost to the extreme. Parents are just overwhelmed with desire to shower their children with affection and with gifts and with yes, yes, okay, yes, yes. I did a little research this week, and you'd be shocked at how many parents are spending tens of thousands of dollars on a child's birthday. I saw one where this family were having difficulty having children. They finally had a child, and they were so excited at their first birthday party. They threw them a party, had a big deal, and they weren't poor, but they definitely were not wealthy. These were working people, $40,000. And the child slept through most of the birthday party. And there were many illustrations of many of us, a child graduates from kindergarten and we treat it like, they're getting their doctoral degree, and we celebrate with clowns and zoo and animal petting and all. I mean, I believe we should be blessed. My point is not to put that down. My point is we have gone to the other extreme. Today's world, parents know how to do the love thing right, but where are the clear limits that bring the balance? You don't see the consequences for misbehavior. You don't see the follow-up on the expectations we have for our children just to do some chores. You don't see as much the sitting down and having the character talks, or sitting down and having spiritual talks that lays the foundation for children to really, truly find fulfillment and happiness. And somehow parents have come to the conclusion they feel that they can just lavish on the love. They won't have to bother with the discipline side. But it's simply not true. You got to have both of the things. Love and limits brings the balance.